Okay, now we're live?
Yes.
Yay! Hi, I'm Lauren Cadillac.
Hello, I'm Nayra.
And we are with Cadillac Law.
Yes.
Today, I had asked Nayra, have you heard about what's going on with the Trump organization?
Yes.
And Nayra apparently lives under a rock. So she said no.
I had not. I mean, I had heard something, but I hadn't looked into it. So.
Yes. So you're welcome, have looked into it for everybody so that you don't have to. You're welcome. Okay. So Nayra, first I want to make sure everyone knows that is the Trump organization.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual business entity. And that entity is a corporation. Do you remember talking about corp versus LLC?
Yes.
Do you remember me talking about the corporate veil?
No.
Okay. So we'll definitely need to talk about that.
Okay.
Do you remember us talking about pass-through taxation and
Yes.
double taxation?
It goes through the corporation. So
with an LLC, it goes through the LLC to the owners, to the members.
Oh, yes, that's owners.
Right. Okay. So Cadillac Law is a PLLC. So after all my expenses, after Cadillac Law adds up all the money that came in and all the money it's spent, whatever's left over goes on to Lauren Cadillac's taxes.
Okay.
That's a pass-through. With a corporation like the Trump organization, there's their business and expenses, the money left over pays a corporate tax.
Okay.
And then the employees pay their own taxes, of course.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So what they've been accused of, and I'm told there is actual physical evidence of having 2 sets of books. Which I thought was something, honestly, like having 2 sets of books, I feel like was in the movies or something a long time ago. And I thought like only small businesses did stuff like this, but this is crazy. Okay, the reason I asked about the corporate veil is like anytime you have a corporation or an LLC, it creates kind of like, I'm going to use this, like a barrier between the activities of the corporation and like the owners. One really great way to pierce the corporate veil is to commingle funds between personal and money funds.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people with LLCs do this because the LLC is passing through you already. They don't think about it. So you use the business card for something personal or your personal card for the business. Mm-hmm. And if you're a single owner LLC, that is not a good practice if you're going to expand.
Okay.
But it's not going to be the end of the world and you're not going to go to jail for it.
Okay.
Right? Like you're a single member LLC. Just make sure to accurately account at the end of the year. It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. But just do it, or like get it accounted for, you're fine. But where you have this corporation, so you're fine in terms of the IRS, but when you do that, you can pierce the corporate veil.
Okay.
And so when you have a corporation, there's already the corporate veil, as long as the corporation treats the corporation's income as corporate income and other people's income separately. So what their organization's been accused of is keeping 2 sets of books when it comes to, and this is the only thing that I've heard of so far, executive compensation. I mean, it's not even, it's like, it's so bad. It's 2 sets of books, but it's only related to the executives. I know. It couldn't get worse. It couldn't get worse. I know. And this is the best part, Nayra. They found Excel spreadsheets in the work computers. Like other people besides just the executives who were in on the scheme had the dang spreadsheets. We're updating the freaking spreadsheets. I can't even. You know, if I was a prosecutor, I would be so happy.
Thank you.
I would be so happy. Let me tell you, I love doing defense, but if that was my client, I would be devastated because many of the people from the organization have since gone on television and been like, yeah, but it's no big deal. I mean, it's not a big deal to not pay taxes.
No.
Instead of saying, no, I didn't do it, they're basically admitting on television, like, I'm going to use that clip in the courtroom. Absolutely. This is a prosecutor's dream case.
Excel sheet.
An Excel sheet. And then news interviews with every single one of the people who is part of the possible group of suspects comes out and is like, yeah, but it's okay. So the CFO, Wasserberg or whatever his name is, he took, like, on paper, he had like a low salary, and then he had the spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet one.
Where the organization was paying for his Manhattan or whatever expensive apartment, which was a business apartment, except him and his wife lived there. Like, they lived there. Part of that second set of, like, his executive compensation was paying tuition for his grandkids to go to college. Mm-hmm. Which I'm totally jealous of his grandkids, because I got $0 from my grandparents. Okay, I got zip. But
Mercedes car.
The Mercedes, they bought themselves a Mercedes and didn't pay. Now, company car is totally allowable under IRS rules, but I've done a video about mileage. I've talked about these things. If you have access to it personally, so if he was only driving it for work purposes, right? And then maybe he commuted home or whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe as an exception, there was an emergency and he borrowed the car to drive to a hospital or something. Mm-hmm. Fine. But my understanding of this car is, like, he used it to get to and from work.
Yes.
He used it on the weekends. He used it in the evenings to go pick up pizza and take the kids to ballet and da-da-da. Personal use. Exactly. So, also, a reason we know the Mercedes was not actually a business expense is because it's on the spreadsheet. Because they have a whole spreadsheet.
Oh my God.
Full of evidence.
That's amazing.
And there's, like, no evidentiary exception. Their business records, their statements by a party opponent, they're, like, all of those things. Okay. So it would be one thing if, like, some rogue bookkeeper or whatever in the Trump organization was doing this and maybe, like, siphoning off. Like, right. I saw this thing once about this woman who for 25 years stole from the city that she worked at, and she ended up getting, like, millions and millions. It was like a tiny city. She got millions of dollars, but she did, like, a little at a time, so nobody really noticed it. That's one thing. Now, that person is a criminal, absolutely.
Yes.
But that person is rogue. That's not a scheme. That's not the CTO. That's not someone, the CFO. That's not someone who's supposed to have knowledge of the law and how it applies and to follow it and make sure that the company is following it. That is not what we're dealing with here. We are talking the chief financial officer, the guy who is supposed to sign off on SEC reporting, sign off on every type of, any kind of audit, all of those kind of things, and enforcement of the financial rules. Obviously not doing that because he has literally an Excel spreadsheet.
Covering himself by creating an Excel sheet for it. Yeah.
If he was my client, I'd be like, oh my God. Bang my head against the wall. Why is there an Excel spreadsheet? Okay, so for our viewers and our clients, please don't do this.
Yes, don't.
No, don't do this. No.
So I guess my question would be, since it is his organization, right, and he's coming out supporting them or defending them, what does that mean for him?
I don't know necessarily that him supporting the organization has any meaning to him at all, but I think the words he's saying in support, and the fact that he's the head honcho. Then think about this. I don't know if you remember this, but when he first took office, I guess it wasn't first, it was about a year into him taking office, he shut down the IRS for 2 months. Yeah. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Why do you think he shut down the IRS? Why do you think he cut funding to the IRS? Like, to me, those acts are further evidence that he knew the company was doing this. Because it's one thing if he says the CFO was a rogue. Yeah. I had no idea. That's what I was being the leader of the free world. He can't say that. And this went on for years before.
I'm saying if somebody did that in my organization, I'd be mad.
You'd be mad.
I would imagine.
But I think we're going to find evidence. I don't know for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. If him coming out and saying like, oh, it's all lies and,
it's okay.
Everybody's coming after because of me. Like, why would you not? Why would you be okay with it?
He said the CFO was just trying to do a nice thing by paying the tuition.
Okay. So that just shows you.
So that's evidence. That's further evidence, right?
Because I know I would be upset if somebody was doing that.
I would be lit. I've been stolen from in my company, and it would be off. And the last thing I'm going to do is say that they were being kind, right? Yeah. Like, no, that's stealing.
Not kind to me.
But it worked for Trump's benefit because the CFO guy, he's taking less cash. He's got less on the payroll burden. Yeah. So you look like you have more cash flow. Oh, and that's the other thing, Nayra, I forgot. There's a third set of books. Because there was the real books. There was the spreadsheet, the Excel spreadsheet. And then there's this third set, which is what they showed banks so that they could buy real estate. The real estate portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, this is very
scheming.
Oh, the scheme is so scheming. And it's really intricate. And I think it's going to hit. But it's not that intricate because like you and I were just talking this morning about other countries with financial havens, tax havens. They don't do that. They're not doing that. They didn't do that. It's not like they used legal and creative means to avoid tax consequences, which is totally legal and allowable. Mm-hmm. They had a second
straight up
and a third set of books. Yes, it's crazy. I mean, think about that. If like the CFO of like Amazon, we find out that there's a whole separate spreadsheet, right? And like Amazon's paid for their this and Amazon paid for that. That's absolutely unacceptable. No. That's not how we conduct business in this country.
Nope.
No. So anyhow, that has been a really hot topic for me. I heard them say something like, oh, well, Wasserman was being thoughtful to pay for the tuition. I know. So sweet. The IRS doesn't give it to you.
You want to be.
The justice system does not care. The law is black and white. That's why I do real estate and tax. The law is black and white. There's no feelings. We don't care how sweet you were trying to be. We don't care what your intentions were. No, but they were his grandkids. We don't care. Nobody cares. So it is such an interesting, it's going to be such a great like Harvard Business Review case study someday. Probably in the near future, probably in the next 5 years or so.
Is he the only one that they have filed charges on?
Yes, because CFO? My understanding is the DA is wanting to pressure the CFO to cooperate.
Oh, okay.
And so they started with him.
Okay.
But do you remember a while back, they found out Ivanka was getting a salary because she worked for the company. Oh, yeah. But then there were like sub-companies, subsidiaries that were paying her consulting fees, like $750,000. And I don't think she paid taxes. So, and everything I hear in the news is like the kids are going to turn on him. The kids are going to turn on him.
Kids.
And the thing is, I know he has no loyalty. He doesn't. He'll send his kids to jail. He'll be like, no, it was their idea.
I have nothing to do with that.
Exactly. But to your point, there's all this evidence. You're not angry. You're actually defending the guy. You shut down the IRS in 2018. I mean, there's a lot of evidence showing that you kind of were part of it too.
So you
knew what was up. Yeah.
Because why wouldn't that make him upset?
Here's another thing I just want to say. If you know you're cooking the books, do not run for public office.
Yeah.
I don't cook the books. I have one set of books. They're correct. I don't do them. That's how I know they're correct, right? Lisa takes care of them, and we offer that service for our clients. So you can always call us. We have one set of books. I am still afraid that I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Even though I only have one set of books, I know I don't have lies in it, I'm still not going to run for office. What if they find something in the books that's wrong? Because I went under the scrutiny me of running for office.
Yeah.
What have I been doing this one thing wrong the whole life or
And
something?
you didn't know about it. Yeah.
So y'all, if you have 2 sets of books, well, first of all, don't. My actual legal advice, don't have 2 sets of books. But sure as shit, don't go out there in publicity land.
So they can deep in there.
It is so crazy. How you put yourself out there. So if anyone wants to blame anyone, it's his fault for running for president. If he hadn't put the spotlight on him, like, nobody would have probably ever looked. I don't know. I wouldn't care. We sure as hell wouldn't be talking about it right now.
For sure.
So, I mean, if you know you're out there breaking the law, don't be all real loud and stuff.
Don't break the law.
Don't break the law. But then don't be an idiot about it when you do. Howard Stern, which Trump used to go on the Howard Stern show all the time. I loved Howard Stern. Growing up, I would listen to his radio show all the time. There's this line, his dad says, "Don't be stupid, you moron."
Oh my God.
That's what I want to tell them about their executive pay structure. Don't be stupid, you morons. The other thing is, it's a corp, so it could have bonused them. Like, if you needed the money, you could have taken, but that's the thing, Nayra. The scheme was not about receiving the money. The scheme was about not paying the taxes.
Hiding the money.
It was hiding the money and not paying taxes on money you're receiving. And so that's why they're, but and every bit of news that leaks, I'm just like, oh God.
It's so sad.
It's so bad. I'm just so glad that's not our client. Thank God it's not our client.
And the attorney's logic is like, well, you didn't prosecute this other one, so why are you coming after us?
What kind of defense is that? And that's another thing. When the defense is not definitively, no, I didn't do it, someone's lying. They did it. Because truly, like, most of the time, with few exceptions, truly innocent people are like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Where we see that is like child abuse. Like, if you're accused of abusing your child, I don't know about you, but someone's like, Lauren, you hit your head. No, the fuck, I did not.
No, I didn't.
No, I did not. Actually.
No.
Actually, no. But, if I was a child abuser, well, I would never do that. I would never do such a thing to my child. And it's the same type of thing here, right? It's not, no, we didn't do it. It's, well, really but other corporations do it.
Why now? Why you want to get us now?
Yeah, this is political. And we were just talking before we came live about their defenses. Oh, well, this is political. And our response to that is, who gives a shit?
Even if it is.
Who cares? Even if it's political, if there are causes of action in our law and there are elements and the prosecutors can meet the elements with the evidence, the burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, this is not the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt means that a reasonable person would not have any doubt in them at all. Okay, that is a heavy burden. And if you're talking about making a case against the prior president's corporation with a burden like that, we did not go to law school and work as hard as we did to become JDs just to toss our law degrees out the window behind some politics. Not like that. No. If you're going to make a case where your burden is beyond a reasonable doubt and you're going to arrest people behind it, then, and we know the government arrests people beyond a reasonable doubt all the time. But those people are like you and me. They're not ex-presidents and their companies, right? Like, this is different because they have to make sure they dot their I's and cross their T's.
That's true.
This is a big whale. This is not Lauren and Nayra. Like, whatever. Nobody cares about us.
Yep, that's true.
In terms of the government.
Yeah.
This is an interesting case,
so
man.
Cool. Yeah.
It is. So
we'll see. We'll wait and see what happens.
I hope we'll watch it unfold. We'll have more videos about it too.
Yeah.
If y'all are interested.
Updates.
Make sure you comment. Make sure you like. You hit subscribe. Thanks for sharing your 20 minutes with us.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye, everyone.